Food substitution mistakes. Hi there, Eve here, and today we're going to talk about mistakes people make when substituting foods. But before I go any further, I just want to acknowledge you for being here. Healing your relationship with food takes energy, it takes time, patience, self-love, so good on you for being here, watching these videos. And if you like these videos, I invite you to subscribe and to be a part of my world. And if you want more content like this, I invite you to my website, vitamineve.com, where you can download a complimentary ebook, Stop Overeating Now. So let's jump in. First of all, let's talk about what food substitution is. It's basically when somebody replaces one food for another. And although that may seem harmless enough, it could actually be counterproductive for many people when healing their relationship with food. So in this video, I'm going to talk about do's and don'ts of substitution. So food substitution could be detrimental to recovery for 5 main reasons I'm going to talk about in this video. Video number 1, it could reinforce restrictive behaviors and reinforce this idea of good food and bad food. And part of healing your relationship with food is having greater food neutrality. And so substituting foods inhibits that. Second of all, substituting foods could actually increase anxiety and stress. It could be overwhelming to always think about what you are allowed to have and not allowed to have. So it could cause more stress during meal times if you are still substituting. Third of all, substituting foods can limit your exposure to your fear foods. And part of healing your relationship with foods is having access to all types of foods and reintroducing those fear or trigger foods that you maybe took out of your diet in the first place. Fourth of all, healing your relationship with food may cause you to go unconscious. Some people may justify the fact that, oh, okay, it's a lower calorie ice cream, and may go ahead and eat the whole container. Or they may go unconscious by the way of eating that food anyway, having the substitution, and then going for the real thing thereafter. So again, that's why it could be problematic to substitute. And finally, another reason why it could be problematic to substitute foods is because it may impede progress towards trusting your own body. Because having these substitute foods may make it more difficult to feel satisfied, feel your satisfaction, and actually stop. So if you're trying to reconnect with your body and your body's signals, this could be really problematic. So you may be thinking, hey Eve, when is food substitution a good idea then? This doesn't sound like a good idea to me. And if you're thinking that, good for you. But here are some times when substituting foods may actually be a wise idea. Is if you have an allergy or an intolerance to that food. So if you can't tolerate gluten or if you're allergic to it, it may be a good idea to substitute it for something else. A big mistake I see people make is that they take it out of their diet altogether and they don't substitute it for something else. So if you're not gonna have, wheat or gluten or whatever, it's gonna be very important to substitute it with something that doesn't contain gluten, like potatoes or rice or something like that. Second reason when it may be a good idea to have a substitution is if you have a medical condition that requires you to take a food out of your diet. So if you have kidney issues and your doctor recommended to be on a low potassium diet, having a low potassium food in a place of a high potassium food is a good idea. And finally, another place that it may be wise or advisable to go ahead and substitute is when it's your preference. Hey, if you don't like dairy milk, let's say, or it may be a great substitute to have something like soy milk instead. It's just something, if you do that, something to think about is to make sure that it is nutritionally close enough to what you're substituting it for. So that's something you want to look at. Learning how to read labels could be very helpful for that. So it's okay to go ahead and substitute if you enjoy it more or it's in greater alignment with your values. You don't want to substitute it if it's in an attempt to restrict or to control your intake. And if you're not really sure where that line is, reaching out to a dietitian like myself or a therapist could be really helpful in these cases. So I hope this video was helpful. I'd love to hear from you and know what foods you're not willing to substitute because you really enjoy them. I'd love to hear what you love. And if you enjoyed watching this, I invite you to subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Bye everybody.